Is there a war on cops across the nation? Many in law enforcement say there is an anti-cop sentiment and that is growing stronger and stronger.
Here in New York City, a police officer died after a suspect shot him in the head last night.
New York City Police Commissioner Bill Bratton saying this is about as bad as it gets.
Did what every other officer in the NYPD does. When the call comes, he ran toward danger. It was the last time he will respond to that call.
In New York City, the ambush execution of two police officers. Police are being told to stay in pairs and watch their backs.
It has happened again. A police officer shot and killed in the line of duty.
He said he was going to go look into some suspicious activity. Then his radio went dead.
His murder comes just days after Houston, Texas Sheriff's Deputy Darren Goforth was ambushed and shot to death at a gas station.
We take this on willingly. We volunteer for this service here. But what we're beleaguered by is the fact that we don't have any support from the political class.
Are politicians doing enough to keep our men and women in blue safe? And I want to know what you think. Should President Obama make an on-camera statement in support of police? Tweet yes or no using hashtag Greta. I'll tell you what I think off the record at the end of the show and show you your live results. Former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani joins me. Good evening, Mayor.
Good evening, Greta.
Mayor, it seems to me that there are two types of these police killings. There's like last night where there's gang violence and a police officer in hot pursuit and the guy shoots him in self-defense. Then there's the kind where we had the two police officers sitting in the police car and someone just went up to the police car and executed them, that there was no confrontation or interaction. Nonetheless, a lot of police officers are feeling pretty burned these days. I talked to them. Do you think that there is sort of a war on police in this country?
There's no question that there is. Not only that, Greta, I travel all throughout the country constantly, and police officers now come up to me for the last 8, 9, 10 months and tell me they don't feel supported, they don't feel that they're understood, they feel that they're being made the unfair target of a lot of people who are using words that are incendiary. The mythology of Ferguson, the idea that that was some kind of a unjust killing, when in fact it was a completely justified situation of a man who had committed a crime and was rushing toward the police officer, and the police officer shot him really to save his own life. But you have these people, people in high political offices who still do the hands up thing, which turns out to be totally false. I could give you many situations like that, and I think that it's being fostered. It's being fostered politically. And it's a tragedy. What actually we should be doing is we should be telling people every time you see a police officer, say, thank you for putting your life on the line for protecting me and my children. That's what Officer Randolph was doing. That's what the officers who were involved last night were doing. Next couple of days, it wouldn't be a bad idea if the citizens in America just stopped the police officers they saw on the street, like the one I saw walking up here today, and said to him, thank you for protecting us. Most of us love you, and most of us understand what you're going through. And there are just a couple of people, unfortunately, some of them in significant political positions, that have allowed this to become sort of just an unfair attack on you.
Well, we see the catastrophic, like the murder last night of the two police officers who were executed, or the guy who's putting gas in his car down in Louisiana or Texas. We see that. But we've also seen instances lately, for instance, the police officer who went in to get a cup of coffee and someone wrote on a Black Lives Matter or something on the cup. Another one was denied service down in Florida because he was a police officer. I mean, there's sort of the non-lethal things that are being done to police officers as well as the lethal. But having said that, how do we sort of unravel the Ferguson effect that, so that we start getting to the point where more people are taking a look at police officers and sort of, defuse that war?
Well, we tell the truth, like I did a year and a half ago, and created a storm of anger at me when I said that, 99% of these murders that occurred, 99.9% are citizen on citizen. And police officer shootings are rare when police officers shoot people. The vast majority of those shootings are justified, as what happened last night. And the real problem is the enormous amount of crime that is allowed to go on in these communities. Also, Commissioner Kelly was just on, and one of the things he certainly would have had a right to point out is this whole pulling back on stop and frisk. Yes, the guns come into New York. The guns were coming into New York when I was the mayor of New York City in large numbers, except I reduced homicide by 65% because I seized the guns from people like that man that's involved in this, if he's alleged to have done it. He's a career criminal. I also supported the career criminal bill and used it when I was a prosecutor. A guy like that should be in jail right now. He should be spending the rest of his life in jail. He shouldn't be out on the street being able to shoot people. He's a crime machine. So you cut back on stop and frisk. You don't give these people the sentences they deserve. You let people out of prison because you start feeling sorry that they've been in prison too long, and then you go ahead and a person like O'Malley says all lives matter, and the man has to apologize for not saying black lives matter, all lives matter, police officers' lives matter.
Mayor, I thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.